Well, give a specific love. Today I'm going to show you how to use some old pallets to construct this awesome 3-tier laundry basket holder. This is a great way to get these things off the floor so you don't trip over them. Now this will be the 5th of 5 woodworking projects that we had for the month of November. If you haven't seen the other 4, I'll put a link to the playlist in the description below. We were able to build this basket holder using some of the extra pallets from our kitchen bar table. If you have not seen this project, it was number 4 in our woodworking playlist. To get this project started, I measured the 3 baskets we plan to use the most. They are 26 inches wide, 18 inches deep, and 10.5 inches tall. We wanted this design to be simple, sturdy, and as lightweight as possible. But trying to do all of that and keep the pallet in appearance can make this a bit of a challenge. I wanted all of the wood for this project to be only reclaimed pallet wood, so I started disassembling more pallets. With a basic design in mind, I knew that I needed at least 10 of the flat boards and 10 of the inner bulkier boards. I then started sanding them down on my belt sander. When you are using pallet wood, try to remember to remove any protruding nails or they can cause problems with your tools. Just remember, if you're working with wood, whether it's pallets or just any kind of wood in general, if by chance it does split or crack on you, get you some good quality wood glue, pour it in place, and clamp it together and leave it there for a good while, maybe about 24 hours, and it should be as good as new. After getting all the pieces sanded, I took them over to my table router and rounded all of the edges to help prevent splinters. I actually made this table router in number 2 of this woodworking series. I then went over to my miter saw and set up a longer fence using a 4-foot long furring strip. Making a mark at 26 inches and clamping a stop block allowed me to quickly cut the 10 inner support boards. These will hold each of the baskets and provide a lot of strength to the holder. I then took the 10 pieces to my orbital sander to remove any splinters that the belt sander missed. But in reality, the perfectionist part of me spent way too much time sanding each square millimeter of each board. I also smoothed out each of the 10 flat boards. For the top and the bottom of this holder, I calculated that 19.5 inch boards should work well. So I readjusted the measurement on my miter saw and cut out 8 boards to length. A quick test fit showed that everything appeared to line up, so the assembly began. Using the framing square to get the board straight made this build a little easier. So I created a rectangle using 2 flat boards and 2 thicker boards. This is just a basic setup, so screwing into the end grain is okay. I then added 2 side boards to the frame. At this point, I realized I needed to remove one of the end flat boards or it would be in the way of the baskets. I then test fitted the baskets and realized I had a bunch of unused space. So I checked with the wife on other options and she preferred to just make the holder shorter. I then measured the locations of the basket supports, clamped the boards in place, drilled pilot holes, and screwed them together. After attaching all 3, I measured out the excess length, which came to about 10 inches. I marked the locations and removed the extra length with a jigsaw. The outcome was better than I expected, and it did not even need to be sanded. I then clamped the top board and secured it in place with some screws. And now that one side was done, I used it as a template for the other side. I just had to remember to mirror each of the locations. With both sides complete, I test fitted the 19.5 inch boards and found that they were just a little too wide for the baskets. One thing to keep in mind when you're working with pallets is that they are not exactly straight. And so no matter what you do, a lot of it is just guesswork. So just keep that in mind and you may have to make recuts like I have to do here. So I used a miter saw to remove about a 1/2 inch off of all 8 boards. I then reclamped the boards and the baskets fit great. So I evenly spaced out the 4 boards and secured them in place with screws. I then flipped the holder over and repeated the process. I gave the baskets another test fit and they worked great. They easily slid in and out and the holder was nice and sturdy. Now for the color, my wife chose a weathered gray stain and poly finish. It was easy to apply and after letting it dry overnight, the ending result looked great. I enjoyed putting this project together, but there are probably a few things I would improve on. First off, I chose pallets and that was probably one of the more difficult things because it required all the sanding. Now, if you're going to build something like this, probably suggest not using pallets. You can simplify your wood choices, maybe get smaller pieces down here that actually hold up the baskets, and just, I don't know, overall just have an easier selection of wood. You don't have to do nearly as much sanding and you can get it done a lot faster. But I like how this turned out. I love the color that we chose of the weathered gray, and it just goes along great for where we're going to put this in our laundry room. And I hope this project helps to motivate you to get out and make some stuff with wood. I found out it is a lot easier than I originally thought it would be. It does take some work in here and there, and you gotta practice, and maybe you'll make some errors, and you just work with them. Like I made errors with this one, but you just keep going. Don't give up. You can do it. Now if you enjoyed this project, make sure you click the like button, tell us what you think about it in the comments, and as always, have fun building.